Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, drop that like and subscribe. Sorry for not posting that often. It's been quite the start of the year. I really feel like retiring this year. What about you guys? I've been a little bit a victim of my own success. My work has been going on very well, which means I end up year upon year getting harder and harder targets and managing existing things that I've done the year before. Quite the hassle. But in any case, everything is good. So, good kickstart of the year. Bitcoin is above 100K. Still a bit shaky. Feels like people are still a bit suspicious, which is good. Also, the dollar keeps being very elevated, and TLT is still trembling quite a bit. Which obviously puts some dampening on the markets, and you see that particularly in the Russell, for example, also a little bit in the Dow Jones. Ethereum keeps on rising. A while ago it was 3,100. It's now tried to go to 3,700. Will it get to 5,000, which was my target for the middle of the month? Looks difficult, but wouldn't be the first time and wouldn't be impossible. That one is part of my bottom 8 predictions, as I've told you guys, and I will repeat it again in case you haven't seen my 12 prediction video that I've done in December 2024. To me, the top 4 are the ones that matter the most, meaning I can get all the bottom 8 correct. If I get the top 4 wrong, I'm screwed. If I get the top 4 correct and I miss the bottom 8, I'm extremely successful. In any case, the other targets seem to be going just fine. It's the first week of January, it doesn't really matter anything. Q1 of the halving here tends to be a very successful quarter. As I've said before, I'm expecting Bitcoin to have a local top here, somewhere between mid-March, let's say second half of March, beginning of April. I would say somewhere between second half of March and first half of April. If you ask me to pinpoint it further, I would say late March, early April. The reason is the typical US tax season, the typical topping that you see around also 12 months after the halving, but this cycle has been front run a little bit, so that's why I'm also saying late March, maybe as early as mid-March, but I would say more late March, early April. A lot of people will be convinced that is the top. I think we're gonna have a correction into the summer, and then I don't know, mid-July or something like that, we start going up again. Potentially something really good happens, and we have our final top, which I've said I expect it to be somewhere between late September, early October. No, but I also say look at 6th of October and 20th of October. Particularly 20th of October may be an interesting date, but around that time frame, okay? Don't pinpoint me, was it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday? No, don't pinpoint me to that. And you can tell, even now, the PTSD involved in this cycle, which is normal. Our previous cycle was very disappointing, 2020, 2021 versus. Why was it disappointing? Was it a bad cycle? No. But people were thinking 2017. Basically, all the coins in the top 100 in 2017 did an 100x. So that was what people were expecting. Like basically you throw darts at the wall and you get a 100x. I've said this before and I say it again. I do expect this cycle to be more like a 2017 cycle. I said this when I thought that Trump was going to be elected. And obviously, pending any black swan, right? If something happens and it doesn't go to office, obviously this is a big deal, right? But apart from that, I do expect the cycle to be a little bit more Trump style of 2017 as well. Does that mean that all the coins in the top 100 will do 100x? No. It means that it's going to be a cycle in which a lot of things will go up very much, and it will be much easier to make life-changing wealth than it was 2020, 2021. Now, will I be right? I don't know. It's a prediction that I made, or it's an expectation that I have for a long time. I also said, and I will repeat it, I give about a 30% chance that we do peak in March, April, May, which means I will take 30% of my portfolio out. Now, I always talk, when I talk about these local tops, I'm talking about Bitcoin, but as you guys know, I don't have any Bitcoin, right? So I think what's going to happen is Bitcoin may have a local top around second half of March, first half of April, so let's say late March, early April, Ethereum to run a little bit longer, and then altcoins to still run potentially into May, and then you have the correction. 20%, 25% on Bitcoin wouldn't surprise me at all, and you need to have people convinced that the top is in. The influencers, the calls, right, will all be very happy. Oh my God, I front ran the cycle, I timed it perfectly, I exited exactly when I wanted, I made so much money, I'm so smart, and then it comes later in the year to bite them in the ass and basically catch most people off guard. And then a lot of people will practice their specialty, which is FOMO, go all in, do stupid stuff with leverage, chase every pump, and get annihilated in the process. Unfortunately, this is what I see happening because I've never seen so much conversation about selling, even by retail, at this stage. Don't forget, without euphoria, you don't have the big dumps afterwards. Just like, for example, Goldman Sachs comes out and predicts a bad year for equities. The Fed is talking about, the Fed official was talking about a steep decline in the US stocks. The other guy is talking about deep recession. You see, you need people to be convinced. You need all these players, Goldman Sachs and all of the others, to be extremely convinced that it's up only, basically. Just goes up forever. Then you should be concerned. Like 2021, everything seems so great, everything was wonderful, there's no problem, everything, infinite QE, zero interest rates, this will go forever, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? You have a massive top. 2022 is a bad year. 2023, everybody predicted the crash and the recession. Never happened. Oh, because 2023 was so good, then 2024 is going to be a crash for sure. Didn't happen. You see my point? You need everyone to be very convinced that everything is fine and there's never going to be any recession again, and they figured out the solution to all the world's problems and just move on from there. Now, the reason why I'm a bit overexposed, if you will, on meme coins and Ethereum is because Ethereum has yet to have its massive pump, which is typically this quarter. And Ethereum is linked in terms of liquidity to all these meme coins on the Ethereum chain, which means if Ethereum goes to 12K, 14K, then all these meme coins, except the rug pools obviously, will benefit from that relationship with Ethereum. So if I already have certain meme coins that are doing so well with a sub-performing Ethereum, guess what's going to happen? If Pepe is already close to 10 billion market cap without Ethereum helping at all, what do you think is going to happen when Ethereum helps a lot? Is this a guarantee? Of course not. Is this guaranteed to happen? No. I think it has a high probability of happening. So I play my chips accordingly. Same thing. Pulse chain ecosystem, I think, is going to be a little bit of a different situation. I think it will pump when everything else is dumping, because I think that's when the SEC funds are going to be deployed. You see, there's some type of drama. To be honest, I don't follow this kind of dramas anymore in the pulse chain communities, right? The big drama is the following. We are not at day one SEC. That's it. If tomorrow the SEC case comes out and it's dropped, then pulse chain will probably 3x overnight, and all of a sudden all this drama disappears, like everything. I remember being in the Andy Telegram group from the beginning. In the beginning it was very silent. Then it became more movement. As we went to price discovery, everybody was happy. As soon as we pumped to 300 million, everybody was ecstatic, talking about flipping Pepe. By the way, I still remember this. And then we corrected to 48 million. So that's an 85% drop. The mood in the Telegram was terrible, as people were selling the bottom. Then the green candles came again. All of a sudden, the mood was great. We made a new all-time high. And now we corrected to 175 million. We are now back above 200 million. Guess what? The mood is not so great. It's better than when it was 48, but it's not that perfect. You'll find out that usually when you join a community, for example, on Telegram, and everybody's super excited and pumping, and you go away for 3 minutes and you have 1,500 messages, that thing is closer to a big correction than to a big bottom. One of the things that made me the most bullish, for example, about Hoppy at some point, even now, is that sometimes the chat is not very active, and yet the market cap is above 45 million, which is about 3 times the previous bottom. See what I mean? So Hoppy went from around 500K to 80 million, sold to 14 million, went to 140 million, and now it's at around 53 million or so. But for a long time it was around 40, 38, 45, etc. But even with low movement, low enthusiasm, it wouldn't drop from a certain level, around 2 to 3 times higher than the 14 million previous top. While people were very depressed, I said, that's a good sign. See what I mean? That's a good sign, because that means that with no activity, you are running out of sellers. Same thing with Boppy. Boppy used to be, as you guys know, I got in at 550K market cap. Now, sometimes you go 3 hours without hearing almost anything, and the price rarely drops below 1 million. So you're putting in a new bottom a little bit above. If the rumors are correct that Hoppy, the leader of the Night Riders, will be listed on OKX, some people say tomorrow or on KuCoin, some people say next week KuCoin. I mean, we'll see. What do you think is going to happen? Is it guaranteed? No. Is it high probability? In my opinion, yes. So that's the thing that I try to say, is when you're playing this game, particularly with lottery tickets, is you're trying to tilt the odds in your favor. Can you tell for certain? Can you be 100% sure that this is going to play out as I envision? No. Can I make an educated guess, which is better than what most people do? Most people do this. They go on Dex Screener. Oh, this chart pumped a lot. Buy. That's it. Oh, this chart went down a lot. Ignore it or sell it if you have some. And then a few people will win, and they will post their P&L on X or make a video on YouTube. The majority of people will get annihilated. It's a little bit like when you see the good stories of athletes that end up being, oh, this guy came from here and he became a Super Bowl MVP, right? And you know the success story. And people say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a quarterback in the NFL, or a running back, or a wide receiver, or line, I mean, whatever, right? And then what you don't see is the million of unsuccessful stories. That's just the reality. But with that, guys, we are moving well in the cycle. There's nothing, again, that continues to be materially different. Have a look at that TLT, that dollar. You would like both of them, one to go up, TLT, the dollar to come down, not just to make me right, by the end of the year, but also it would make our progression into the cycle easier. And with that, thank you very much for your support, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.